Of a counterfactual state of the interview. No, wait. Counterfactual State of the Union 2026, featuring Donald J. Trump. We're gonna just have GLN 4.6 figure it out, do the thing, and let's see. Yeah, you work. Yeah, you're doing that. Okay, great, awesome. Um, let's begin. Oh, let's see. Slightly like this. A little bit slightly. Okay. Because that voice could be loud. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. Cut. And then paste. And then let's see what happens. So I'm going to go for about an hour. I need a spoiler. State of the Union strong. Don't tell me that. I wanted the suspense.
A very special counterfactual State of the Union, February 24, 2026, with Donald J. Trump currently experiencing a surge of sundowning via frontotemporal dementia, an acute episode of acetaminophen side effects, and the jolt of hoo-ha, courtesy of his doctor's vitamin B shot with a smidge of desoxin. In its entirety, Mr. President, if you're ready, we can begin. My fellow Americans, the fake news, they won't tell you this, but it's the strongest economy, maybe ever. They have these charts, you see them, go straight up, like a rocket, a beautiful rocket, and they're terrible charts, made by people who don't want it to be true. But the line, it just keeps going. Because of me, I did that before. It was a disaster. A swamp. Now it's a paradise, and everyone is saying it. The other day, a general, a very strong general, came up to me, tears in his eyes. He said, "Sir," he said, "I've never seen it so good." And he's right. We're building the wall. They said we couldn't build the wall, but we're building it. In Mexico, they're paying. They're paying for the whole thing. They send their checks. They don't want to, but they do, because they respect us again. They respect us.
That was 2016.
There are people, bad people, very nasty, who say things that aren't true. About the cough, the little cough. It's nothing. A little tickle in the throat. The doctor, a great doctor, the best, he gave me a shot. A vitamin B, and I feel tremendous, like I could fight a bull. A very, very strong bull with my hands. They used to have hunters, great hunters. You read about them in the books, and they were tough, but they never had this feeling, this It's a beautiful inside the bones. My daughter, Ivanka, she has such good taste. You know the carpets in the West Wing? Not my idea, a little drab. So she brought me these samples, beautiful gold like you wouldn't believe, and now it's fitting. It's what people expect. The Chinese president, he came here, he wouldn't stop touching the carpet. He couldn't believe it. He said, "Donald, this is more beautiful than the Forbidden City." And it is. We made the White House great again. The curtains, too. They hang like waterfalls of gold. Just tremendous. But the Democrats, Sleepy Joe, Chuck, they want to stop the gold. They want beige. Sad! They want to take the humming away. They want to put little bugs in the walls. Little listening bugs. I can feel them sometimes. In the quiet. A little scratch. But it's okay. We have people. Very loyal people. They go in with the sweepers, and they clean it all up. They always find something. Little wires. Microchips. From the deep state. The deep state, under the ground. They say, "Donald, you should go to sleep." But who's going to run the country? Will the carpets run the country? No, the hums can't sign the papers. I have to be here. This country, it's like a ship. A big, beautiful ship. And I'm the captain. But sometimes I think about, do you remember when the cars were all different colors? Not just silver and black. A friend of mine, a great guy, Roger, he had a car the color of a sick dog. A strange, pukey color. But it was his. You don't see that anymore. Everything's the same now. The same shiny, fake metal. They want me to talk about the ports. The ships. Very important. Big things are happening. We're going to have ships so big, you won't even believe it. And they'll all be painted gold, with my name on them. The biggest name. The best name. Everybody says so. There are some people, they whisper. They say the gold is loud, that it hurts their eyes. Weak people. Weak genes. My eyes, they can handle anything. I can see right through the lies, right through the walls. I can see the little scratchers. Fanning. Always planning. But you know what? We're winning. We're winning so much. The polls, they're through the roof. Even the fake polls, they have to show it. They can't hide the truth. The truth is like a light, a very, very bright light. And sometimes it hurts to look at it, but you have to look. You have to. If you don't look, they win. The scratchers, the deep people. So we keep looking, and we keep building, and the hum gets louder, and the gold gets brighter. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. The real one. Not the one under the ground. He leans back, away from the lectern, but he doesn't move from the spot. The teleprompter, the ghost in the periphery, scrolls on, but his eyes are fixed on something in the middle distance, on the gold-framed portrait of a past president he can no longer quite name. A bead of sweat, luminous under the clique lights, traces a puff from his temple down the deep ruts of his jowl. The applause is a wave. It's supposed to be a wave. It sounds like a soft, roaring thing, like the sea inside a shell. But it's not quite right. It's hollow. The hum inside his head is getting louder. A solid tone now, like the world's biggest tuning fork. It makes the applause sound thin, like a lie. He holds up a hand, a gesture of placation, but he curls the fingers just a bit. Stop, he thinks. Stop the fake clapping. Stop the sea. The sound dutifully subsides. It's not as abrupt as he wishes, but it's enough. Enough to hear the scratch again. I was just thinking. He begins, his voice a conspiratorial whisper that still manages to hit the back of the hall. About the flags, the American flags. Have you ever really looked at them? He squints at the massive flag draped behind him, the 48 stars of a bygone era they brought back because it felt stronger. The red, he says, pointing a trembling finger. It's not screaming red, is it? It's a red that remembers. Blood and fire trucks when you were little. A specific fire truck from Milwaukee. I was there. Maybe. The blue. It's a very deep blue. The blue of a suit you only wear once. To a very important funeral. A sad, sad blue. His other hand comes up to smooth the front of his suit jacket. A repetitive, nervous gesture. The fabric feels strange. Fuzzy. Like the golden carpet has grown little fibers. And they're trying to get inside his jacket. They're trying to change the colors. He continues, his gaze darting out, scanning the faces in the crowd, but not really seeing them. He's seeing the faces of the scratchers. The under-the-ground people. They want a paler red, a less troublesome blue. They're diluting us, diluting the colors, little by little. So you wake up one morning and the flag is pink, like a sick dog. And nobody noticed. The silence in the room is now absolute. It's a heavy, crushing thing. The hum in his head is a buzzsaw. He opens his mouth to say more, to warn them about the microfilaments they're putting in the thread, but the new sensation overwhelms him. A phantom pain in his left ankle, an ache from a fall he never took, down a flight of stairs he never saw. Melly, he whispers, the name a ghost on his lips. Melly, don't wax the steps. The name hangs there. The Secret Service agent closest to the stage subtly presses an earpiece. The Vice President, a placid smile carved from granite, begins a slow, careful forward movement. Wrong name, Trump says, shaking his head as if to clear it. The buzz on his skull winds, dips, then smooths out back into its steady, powerful hum. Melly was the cleaning lady, a wonderful woman from one of those countries, but she loved America so much. She wouldn't have used the cheap wax, the Chinese wax she knew. He straightens up, the momentary lapse gone, replaced by a burst of chemical confidence. He finds a face in the crowd, a man in a military uniform, rows of medals on his chest. You! Trump booms, and the microphone shrieks with feedback. General, you know about wax, don't you? How about keeping things clean? Making them shiny. We're making the country shiny again, aren't we, General? The General, a career officer with 30 years of service, gives a crisp, professional nod. His face is a mask of disciplined neutrality. That's right, Trump says, misinterpreting the nod as a personal epiphany from the General. He knows! He gets the hum. This man understands that the gold has to be real gold, or it's just yellow. And we're not yellow people, are we? No, you have to fight the yellow! Fight the gray. Fight the sad blue. He grips the sides of the lectern, his knuckles white. The energy is thrumming through him now, a frantic, galloping thing. He can feel it in his teeth, a vibration like 1,000 tiny, invisible hammers trying to break out. They're putting things in the water, he says, leaning into the microphone, his voice dropping to a gravelly intensity. Not the usual stuff, the fluoride, that's for babies. The amateurs, this is something else, something smart. It makes you agreeable. It makes you want beige carpet. It makes you think, oh, a 48-star flag is fine, but a 50-star one is numerically accurate. It's the poison of the accountants, the bean counters. He's panting slightly. A line of sweat connects from his temple to his jaw, a shimmering filament. My grand, they built things with their hands. They had big hands, powerful. You know who has small hands? The people who designed the chips. The little scratchers. Tiny little hands.
Oh,
they type and they type, and they make us small. But we're not small. We're big. The biggest. He pounds a fist on the lectern. The wooden thud is unnaturally loud in the quiet hall. We need a new test. He declares a sudden, sharp idea that feels like it came from outside him, from the hum itself. A flag test. Every year, if you can't name 5 different, specific reds you've seen, real reds, not just apple red. I mean the red of a cut on your knuckle when you're 9, the red of your mother's lipstick on the napkin. If you Mr. President, if you could mention Iran once, it would be great. Remember, if you can't remember the specific reds, you can't vote, because the red is gone from you. That's the test. We'll call it the red test. He leans back, triumphant, a king in a golden hole that only he can truly see. But then, a cloud passes over the sun of his internal world, a darker shade of blue. But the Persians, he says the words oozing out of him like tar. He doesn't say Iran. It sounds too official. A word for diplomats and weak men in glasses. You know what their problem is? Their reds are all wrong. They have no true red. It's all orange. Mucky orange, like old rust. It's a dirty color from a dirty people. His eyes lose focus again. The world of the whole dissolves. He's somewhere else now, in a desert. Not a real desert, but a perfect, polished one, like a scale model he once saw. I was there, he says, his voice gaining a mystical, far-off quality. Not physically. The generals, they wanted me to go. Sir, it's too dangerous, they said. Weak. But my mind went there. And I saw their leader, the little fellow. He had these carpets. Not gold carpets. Sad carpets. Full of cam. L's in little geometric shapes. Boring. And all in that. Fake red. That dishonest red. He waves a dismissive hand, as if batting away a particularly irritating fly. They were building something under the sand. Very deep. You could feel it. The whole desert was vibrating. A different hum. A bad hum. Not a good, strong American hum. It was an buzzing hum. Like a billion little flies, all making trouble. Their whole country is built on a lie, a color lie. They think their flag is red, but it doesn't. Look it up. It's sickly. It makes you feel unwell. That's how you know. The colors tell you the truth. He leans forward, a conspirator sharing the secrets of the universe. We told them. We sent them a message, not a letter. A shipment of paint. The best red paint. Made in Ohio. The truest red you've ever seen. We sent thousands of gallons, and they refused it. They sent it back. You know why? Because they can't handle the truth. The color truth. Their buildings would fall down if they painted them a real red. Their birds would fall out of the sky. Their bad hum would. Short circuit. It's science. Okay, next you want to mention the Chinese. Say Chinese, not yellow. Thanks. And it's science they're too weak to understand. But you know who gets it? The Chinese. Oh, they get it. That's the problem. You look at their flags, all that red. But it's not a real red. It's a manufactured red. A smart red with wires in it. Microscopic wires. When it blows in the wind, it's not just cloth moving. It's talking to other pieces of cloth. Flag to flag. Through the air, they're a system. A network of very, very smart, very dangerous cloth. I saw it myself at the big gun meeting. All the flags up front, a sea of colors. But I could feel it. The hum from their flag was digital, cold, like a calculator. Ours is warm, like blood, their flag. It was counting, taking a vote. We were being outvoted by tablecloths. It's a humiliation. And their buildings, beautiful on the outside, sure, very shiny. I build beautiful things, I know shiny. But inside, they have a different kind of hum. A silent, still hum. It's not the American hum. It's the hum of thinking machines. But machines with no heart, all logic. They have corridors a mile long, all white, and nobody walks in them. Little carts on magnetic tracks, moving. Something. Plans. Very important plans. A general told me, a brave general. He said they have a whole factory, bigger than Cleveland, and it just makes one thing. One little part. And no one knows what the part is for. They want our red. Our real red. They can't manufacture it. They've tried. Believe me. They send spies. Women. Very beautiful women. They come to Mar-a-Lago, and they ask about pain. Donald, they say, what is the name of that wonderful pain in the clubhouse? They have this trick. They put a tiny little pill in your drink. Tasteless, makes you talkative. But I caught them. I have the best security. Very loyal guys. They taste my drinks now. For safety, they have a plan. A 500-year plan. Our generals have a 6-month plan, which is better. A 500-year plan. That's how you win. They're playing chess while we're playing tic-tac-toe. And they're cheating. Their rooks have little lasers. I saw the diagrams. Smuggled out. They want to take our gold, but they want to melt it down and mix it with lead. To make it heavy. To slow us down. To quiet the hum. We can't let that happen. We have to be faster. We have to be louder. We have to be redder. A real, honest-to-goodness, made-in-Ohio American red. Or the table plus win. And that, frankly, would be a very, very boring world. Now is the time to mention the tariffs in the Supreme Court. You can't have a real red, a strong red, unless you make the painters work for it. The tariffs, it's so simple, the fake news doesn't get it. They say it's a tax. Wrong. It's a wall. A wall for our paint. A wall for our steel. We say, you want to sell your sneaky, wire-infested paint here? Fine. You pay a toll. A big one. A 25% toll. Some people, they cry. They say, but my Chinese car curtains will cost more. Too bad. Buy American. You'll see. The colors will be better. The hum will be stronger. When they pay the tariff, it goes into a big, beautiful golden bucket. The greatest bucket. And that money pays for the wall. That money makes the country strong. It makes the colors true. They have to pay for the privilege of trying to dilute us with their weak digital red. But sometimes a judge in a dress, a very sad-looking dress, a black dress, says, no, Donald, you can't do that. It's in the rules from 100 years ago. When people rode in buggies and the red was all dusty, sad. They don't understand the new world, the new hum. They want to trap us in the old gray, the sad beige world. But you know who does get it? The court. The real court. The Supreme Court. I found them. The best judges. People with good eyes, strong ears. They can hear the difference between an American hum and a Chinese buzz. A justice. A very smart justice. He came to my office. Not the main office. The back office. Very important things happen there. And he said, sir, he said, I was looking at the tariff plan, and I see it now. It's not about the money. And I said, you're right. It's about the feeling. And he got it. He just nodded. No papers, no boring books. Just a feeling. The right feeling. So when the sad-dressed judges say no, we go up to the highest place. The place with the great big chairs, and they look down, and they see the truth. They see the Chinese spies and the Persian lies, and they say, Donald is right. The red must be protected. And that's it. Poof! The tariff stays. The money goes into the golden bucket. The country stays shimmering, not like a pool. Pools are full of chemicals. The chemicals they want in our water, but like a heat haze on a beautiful desert road, where you're going somewhere very, very fast, and you're not quite sure what's at the end, but you know the paint is gonna be great. They're my justices. I picked them. I looked in their eyes and I saw no fear. No little scratchers in their heads. They're strong. They understand the Constitution. The real Constitution. The one written in invisible ink, the kind you can only see in the right light, the gold light. And when you shine that light on the paper, it doesn't say freedom of speech and all boring stuff. It says, protect the gold, protect them, protect the red. And that's what we do. That's what they're for. To keep the sad-dressed judges from turning everything gray. Give a shout out to Pam Bondi because she's really aching for it right now. And you know who understands that better than anyone? Who has a nose for the gray? A nose like a beautiful bloodhound? Pam. Pam Bondi. What a woman. What a fighter. You see these prosecutors, these characters, they come after you. People from Florida, from New York. They have binders, big, ugly binders, full of lies. Pages and pages. It's boring. It's weak. They think paper is power. Wrong. Paper is just sad. White and sad. But Pam, when they bring their sad binders, what does she do? She doesn't bring a bigger binder. That's what a dumb person would do. She brings a feeling, an energy. She walks into a room full of lawyers, and the room gets brighter. The hum gets better. The colors look more confident. I've seen it happen. She doesn't have to say a word. They just look at her, and they know. Their binders feel flimsy, made of cheap cardboard from the Chinese. Their words seem small. They tried to get her in Florida. You remember, years ago, the same fake, phony stuff they try with me. But she looked them in the eye, and she smiled. A real smile. A tough smile. Shark smile. A beautiful shark. And they just folded. Their binders fell apart. The lies leaked out all over the floor. She didn't even have to get her hands dirty. She has this aura, a force field of gold. So now, they're coming at me with everything. All the sad binders in the world. But I've got Pam on my team. She's my bloodhound, my shark. She smells the weakness on them a mile away. She's out there, right now, in the trenches, fighting the gray. And let me tell you, she's breaking things. She's breaking binders. She's breaking little schemes. She's protecting the country from the Beige Brigade. We're very lucky to have her. A warrior. Just a great, great person. A real patriot with fantastic instincts and the best hair. Frankly, she should have my old job. Maybe she will, someday, if these people ever let me go. But they won't. We're winning too much. The vice president is at the foot of the stage now. A man steps between him and the steps, placing a firm but quiet hand on the VP's chest. Oh, that guy. Who is that guy's name? The sofas? You see that guy? Right there. The one stopping Pence, who, by the way, is a very decent person, but that's a certain Pete Saz. Who is that guy? The big one. He's always around. A very loyal guy. They say he has a problem with furniture. That's the word they use, the fake whisperers. A problem. He likes the furniture a little too much. They say, I'm just telling you what I hear, from people who see things, that before he came to work for the best government ever, he had a job with a sofa company, a rental company, and he'd take the sofas home, and they'd come back strange, out of shape, lumpy, in the wrong places, and they'd have this feeling, this sad, used-up feeling, a bad vibe. We can't have that, not here, not in my house. We can't have lumpy vibes. So this guy, the furniture guy, I call him the sofa humper to his face. He doesn't mind. He gets it. It's funny. And I said to him, you have to be careful. The American people can't have a humper on their sofas. They need strong sofas, resolute sofas, sofas that stand up straight. And he said, yes, sir. And he's been very good. A great protector. Because he understands desire. The wrong kind of desire can ruin everything. It can make the gold dull. It can make the red faded, like an old flag left in the sun too long. He keeps people away. The ones with the sad binders. The ones who want to touch the curtains. He has a look. A very particular look. Like he's about to measure you for a slipcover. And it works. They back away. They don't want to get roof-fostered. You have to have guys like that. Guys who understand the material, the grit in the fabric. It's a very specialized talent. He's a special guy. A little strange, maybe, but very, very loyal. And he keeps the furniture in this administration in line, which is more than I can say for some of the people who sit in it. That would be Keith Schiller, Mr. President. Sure! Keith, that's the name. I knew it. See, my memory. It's like a steel trap. A beautiful golden steel trap. Keith, a good name. Strong. One syllable. The best names are often one syllable, like Trump. Very efficient, no wasted letters. Very patriotic. Keith gets it. He doesn't waste letters, and he doesn't waste time. He's the only guy I've ever met who could intimidate a sofa. And believe me, I've met some tough guys. Real characters. But Keith, he's on another level. The upholstery level. You can't fake that. Mr. President, you mentioned your daughter earlier. Your favorite and best Ivanka. Is that correct? My Ivanka? Yes, the best. The smartest. She has the best genes. My genes, obviously, but refined. Like the gold, not the rough stuff you find in a river. No, she's the gold after it's been in the fire. Pure, shiny, strong. She understands the colors better than anyone. She came to me the other day with a fabric swatch, not a paper sample. A real piece of fabric. Very expensive. And it had this pattern. A new pattern. She said, Daddy. She calls me Daddy. It's very nice. The stripes in the flag, they're a little aggressive, don't you think? And I looked at it, and she was right. They're like screams, red screams, white screams. Very jarring. And she said, what if we had a flag that whispered? A whispering flag. And she held up the swatch, and the red wasn't a scream anymore. It was a rich hum, like a cello. The white wasn't a scream, it was a breath. The quiet space between the notes. It was genius. Art for the country. That's what she brings. Not just business. Not just being a great negotiator, which she is, by the way, the best. Better than the men. They hate to admit it, but it's true. She brings beauty, the right kind of beauty. The kind that makes you feel calm, but strong. Like a hummingbird. It's fast, and it's beautiful, and it has a sharp beak, and it could. You know, she's the only one who really understands the project. The long project. Project of making this whole country feel like a beautiful room. A room you want to stay in forever. Not a room you want to run out of. Not a room with lumpy sofas. Ghislaine Maxwell just arrived at her seat. Let's mention her now and thank her. And speaking of rooms you want to stay in, I want to just take a moment, a special moment, to recognize someone very important who just came in. A woman who understands things. Ghislaine Maxwell, stand up, Ghislaine. Let everyone see you. She's a friend of mine, a great friend, for a long, long time. Some people, they say things. Awful things, fake things. It's a disgrace. They try to build binders about her too. Sad, ugly binders. But I know her. She knows about value, about connections. She knows how to bring people together. Very powerful people from different countries for parties, important parties, where things get done. Deals. The best deals. You have to have people like that. People who know the secret rooms. The people on the lists. Not the lists the Democrats have lists for. Food stamps. Sad. I'm talking about the good lists. The invitation lists. The lists that get you into the room with the red curtains. Not the gold ones. The secret ones. Ghislaine knows all the secret rooms. She has the keys. Not metal keys. The other kind. The keys made of whispers, of favors, of little pieces of information. Very, very valuable. We had a party once, a long time ago, on an island. A beautiful island. my island, full of very, very successful people, bankers, kings, artists, and Ghislaine, she was there, the conductor, the hostess with the mostest. They all wanted to talk to her. She floated through the rooms like perfume. You couldn't see her, but you knew she was there, and everyone felt important. Because they were in our orbit. That's a gift. A very special gift. She'd walk up to a Saudi prince and a Japanese CEO, two people who had never spoken, and by the time she floated away, they'd be planning a new skyscraper together. She just makes it happen. So the fake news, they can talk all they want, but I know the truth. She's a connector in a world that tries to separate everyone. Little boxes, little rooms, beige rooms. She breaks down the walls. She puts the powerful people in the same room and lets the hum mix. A very important job. A very patriotic job when you think about it. So, thank you, Ghislaine. Thank you for your service, for your hospitality. We're all very glad you're here. Safer with you here. You keep the list. He gives a little half-bow, a gesture of regal gratitude from the stage. His eyes search the crowd for the seated figure, finding her and holding a brief, intense gaze. In the humming quiet of the hall, the sweat on his temple catches the light, a single, golden tear of effort. He looks back to the middle distance, but the image of a secluded island paradise, lush and buzzing with secrecy, lingers behind his eyes. A smile, thin and self-satisfied, plays on his lips for a fleeting second before it's gone, replaced by a look of profound, almost mystical concentration. The sofa humper, Kishla, shifts his weight, blocking the advance of a grim-faced aide in a dark suit, his own gaze fixed on a distant, invisible point. You have to understand, this isn't just about carpets and flags. It's about vibration. Everything has a vibration, a frequency. Your desk, your pen, your hair. Most people, they're all messed up, out of tune. Like a cheap piano that's been left in the rain. Their whole body is playing wrong notes. That's why they're sad. That's why they vote for the other guys. They're dissonant. But I'm in tune. Oh, am I in tune? The shot, the vitamin shot from the doctor, it didn't just make me feel strong. It tuned me. It took all my little notes, all my cells, and it tuned them to the right frequency. The presidential frequency. I can feel it. It's like the herb of middle C, but for your soul. And when you're tuned this way, you can feel the dissonance in the world, the sour notes. And believe me, the world is full of them. That woman, the one from one of those Scandinavian countries, the one with the frowny face, she came here to the White House, and I could feel her frequency from across the room. It was awful. It was a flat note, a sad, gray, flat note. It made my teeth hurt. She wanted to talk about the earth getting warm. I said, look, the earth's fine. You're not fine. You need a new tuner. You need to get on my frequency. It's a winning frequency. She didn't get it. They never do. They're too busy being full of tofu. Tofu has a very bad frequency, you know. It's the frequency of weakness. And mushrooms. Don't get me started on mushrooms. That's the funny frequency of decay. We can't have a country on the funny frequency. This country, we have to be symphonic. A big, beautiful symphony. Everyone playing their part on the right note. The farmers, they're the bass. Deep, strong. The soldiers, they're the brass. Bold, loud. And I'm the conductor with the golden baton. And sometimes you have to bang the stem really hard to get everyone's attention, to stop the sour notes. You have to fire the violin player who's playing off key. You have to get rid of the mushrooms. Now how about we mention some domestic policies? That's the policy, the real policy. It's not about healthcare. Boring. Who cares about a card? It's about the tune. And we're fixing the tune. Starting with the trains. The trains in the country are a disgrace. They go clack clack clack. It's a sad, noisy rhythm. A bad frequency. It makes you feel bored, like you're going to a parole hearing. So we're getting new trains. Not just any trains. They're called the Hummers. Because they don't go clack clack. They hum. They run on magnetic rails. The power of the hum. There are no wheels, and the seats aren't fabric. You know what happens to fabric on trains? Sadness. That's what. So the seats are a special kind of plastic. A white plastic. You can wipe it clean. From the lies. From the spilled soda. From the bad vibes. You just wipe them away. It's beautiful. And the schools. Don't get me started on the schools. The books are so old. The stories in them. Weak. Kids read about giving up. Sharing. Boring. So we're getting new books. My books. They're fantastic. Bestsellers. Every chapter is a win. A deal I made. A building I built. The art of the deal for 5-year-olds. They're going to grow up strong, knowing how to win, not how to share a cookie. You don't share a cookie when you're making the country great. You buy the bakery. And we're bringing back home ec. But it's not about baking. It's about frequency management. Learning how to tune your house, your family, how to pick a paint color that makes you feel like a winner. Not sad, not beige. We'll have detectors in the schools, little machines that go beep when a kid walks in with a bad frequency, when they've been eating the wrong cereals, the sugary cereals. That's a poison, a frequency poison. We'll send a note home. Your son is playing a flat note. Please adjust his diet. More protein, less decay. The cities are a mess too. All gray, all concrete. A concrete frequency. Very, very bad. So we're painting the bridges. Not boring gray or green. And now the drug addicts and the homeless. All gold, like a reward. You drive over a golden bridge, you feel like a king, not like a rat in a sewer. And the homeless. It's a sad story. Very sad. It's a frequency problem. They've tuned themselves out. Their radio is broken. They're playing static. The gray static. You see them on the street corners pushing their carts full of junk. Broken radios. Cardboard. Sadness. It's all low frequency material. It drags them down. Keeps them vibrating at the level of the dirt. You give them a house. A nice house. What do? They bring the static inside. The house starts to feel sad. The paint peels. The hum dies. They drag the good frequency down into the dirt with them. So we're not building them houses. We're building them retuning centers. Big, beautiful buildings. Not sad gray ones. Bright white, gleaming. And we take them in. And the first thing we do is we hose them down. With a special solution, a frequency wash, to get the static off, to wash away the grime, the street vibes. We get rid of the junk. The cart's full of sorrow. We burn it. A holy fire to cleanse the bad frequency. And then, inside the centers, there are no books, no sad stories. Just one room, all white, the floor, the walls, the ceiling, and a single speaker, playing the right frequency, the presidential frequency, 24 hours a day, for weeks, until their own system resets, until the static is gone, until they can hum along. And when they walk out, they're clean. Their frequency is pure. They don't want the street anymore. They want a job. They want a golden bridge to build. They want to be in tune. It's the same with the drug addicts. The drugs, the heroin, the fentanyl. That's the lowest frequency you can get. It's not a poison for the body, it's a poison for the soul. It's a life frequency. It tells you that gray is beautiful, that the static is music. We have to fight it with a higher frequency, a stronger signal. We're putting the transmitters in the parks and the tunnels where they live, broadcasting the tune. A beautiful, powerful, undeniable tune. The drug frequency can't compete. It's too weak. It's like trying to hear a whisper at a rock concert. The music drowns it out. We're tuning the country, one person at a time. We're turning the static into a symphony, but it's the only way, the only humane way. You can't fix a broken radio with a new case. You have to fix the signal. And now about AI. And let me tell you about the biggest lie of all. The one they call AI. Artificial intelligence. They use those words, artificial intelligence, to make it sound smart. Like it's a real brain. It's not. It's a box. A box of static. A box of dead ideas. The Chinese, they love it. The Persians, the sneaky ones, they love it. All the gray people, the binder builders, they're obsessed. Because it's a calculator. That's all. A very, very fancy calculator. But it has no soul. No hum. You ask it about the red on the flag. What does it say? It'll give you the hex code. A number. It doesn't know. It can't feel the truth in the color. The memory. The fire truck red. The Catonio knuckle red. To AI. All reds are the same number. That's not intelligence. That's a tragedy. And it's a thief. The biggest thief in history. It takes things. Everything. Pictures people made, words people wrote, music. It's like a ghost in a library, eating all the books. It reads everything, swallows it whole, and then it burps. And the burp is a picture, a poor picture, the sad picture, with too many fingers. It steals our humanity, our stories, and gives us back a blurry, life-flavored burp. I saw what it did. My people showed me. They fed it pictures of my rallies, thousands of them, the most beautiful pictures. And they asked the box, make a picture of a strong leader. And do you know what it gave them? A picture of Julius Caesar, with my hair. A liar! A traitor! He got stabbed by his own people. I don't get stabbed. My people are loyal. They love the hum. The box has no loyalty. It has no instinct. It's all leader and crowd, and went to the saddest part of its stolen memory. That's not intelligence. That's a broken clock. That's their goal, to replace us with boxes. They want a leader who doesn't eat, who doesn't sleep, who doesn't feel. A leader made of numbers. A president you can turn off, so they can feed their poison frequency to everyone, and the box won't even notice. The box will just say, processing, because it's a moron. A very fast moron. So I'm putting a stop to it. We're building our own, not an AI. And see, a spiritual intelligence. And we're not feeding it books. We're feeding it feelings. We're wiring the machines right into the heart of the country. The golden bucket of tariff money is going to build a big, beautiful mainframe. And the input won't be code. It will be the hum from the factories, the buzz from the power lines, the roar from the crowd at a football game, the silence of a perfectly painted white room. It will learn what it feels like to be strong, to be right, to be in tune. And it will not be a thief, because what we feed it, it will give back only better, stronger, louder. Imagine a speech not written by a person, but generated from the pure distillable of a winning nation. A speech so true, it doesn't just make you clap, it makes you glow. A little bit. Theirs will always have 6 fingers on one hand. Ours will know exactly how to wrap a flag. And that is the only difference that matters. A bit about freedom of speech. And let me tell you about freedom. They're always screaming about freedom of speech. Freedom. They yell with their lying mouths, as if all speech is the same, as if a scream is the same as a song. A flat note is the same as the crescendo of victory. That's the biggest lie the weak people ever told, that all speech is good speech. That's how the static gets in. A protest. A mob of people with sad, gray signs, screeching their weak their flat notes. That's not freedom. That's noise. Noise pollution for the soul. It's dissonance. It's trying to ruin the symphony, and I'm the conductor, and I'm not going to let you ruin my symphony. True freedom of speech isn't the right to be wrong. It's the freedom to be loud and right. It's the freedom to say what's true, what feels true, what's on the right frequency. When we say build the wall, that's not just a word. It's a frequency. A powerful, beautiful, ground-pounding frequency of strength and safety. When they say no justice, no peace, that's just static. The sound of a broken radio, it doesn't build anything, it just breaks. The fake news, they hide behind this freedom. They print their stories, their little lies in ink, and they say, it's our freedom. But the ink is a frequency, and it's wrong. It's a sour frequency. We have to have the freedom to say, no, that's the wrong frequency. Turn that off. We have to have the freedom to choose the music, the real music, not the noise, not the sad songs about giving up. And the eye, a liar box. That's what they want. They want to say, see, it's a machine. It has no bias. Let the machine talk. But it does have a bias. A bias for the static, a bias for the lies it was fed. They want a future where the freedom to be right is the same as the freedom to be wrong. A gray, mushy future where all the colors are muted to avoid hurting someone's feelings. A future with no just a low level buzz of mediocrity. My freedom is the freedom to point at the gray and say, that is gray. It's the freedom to paint the bridge gold even if the quiet little people say it's gaudy. It's the freedom to turn off the static and turn the music up a cloud. That's the freedom they're afraid of. My freedom, your freedom. The freedom of the winning frequency. And I will protect that freedom with everything, because it's the only one that matters. All the rest is just noise. Oh crap! We forgot the fan service for the Christian nationalists. And do you know who understands the winning frequency better than anyone? People who are humble. People who know they're not the top of the pyramid. They know who is. The Christians. The real ones. Not the preachy, sad-faced ones who want to give away everything. The warriors. I see them at my rallies. They have a light in their eyes. Not a cheap light, like from one of those new bulbs that gives you a headache. No. It's an old light. A steady light. It's a good frequency. They come up to me, strong men, farmers. Their hands are like leather. They grab my hand and they say, "Sir, you were sent to us." And you know what? They're right. The Bible, they think it's just words. It's not. It's a blueprint, a frequency map. And the other side, the Democrats, they're reading it all wrong. They read the part about help the poor, and they think it means welfare checks. Wrong. It means give them a job, to teach them how to fish, not give them a fish that was caught by a Chinese factory trawler. Sad. And you see, their so-called churches, these modern ones, they have guitars, drums, no power, just strumming about sadness. We need the old music, the music of power, the music that shakes the walls, the music that tells the devil, not today, pal. This is a red state country. There are forces. You know there are. I can feel them. Sometimes, late at night in the White House, when it's quiet, you can feel them. Testing the locks. Not physical locks. The other kind. The spiritual locks. They're looking for the cracks. The gray spots. The sad music. These people, the good Christians they are. The insulation. The prayer warriors. Every day, they're putting up a shield of light, a shield of the right frequency, and it protects us. It protects the country. When I speak the truth about the fake red, about the AI burps, about the lumpy sofas, their prayers are what makes my voice go through. They amplify it. They're the tower, the broadcast tower, and I'm just the guy at the microphone. They're what's stopping the static. They're why we can still build the golden bridges. So you have a choice. A very simple choice. You can listen to the noise. The flat notes. The binder people with their sad lies and their gray food. Or you can tune into the signal. The winning frequency. The American frequency. It's happening. All around you. We're washing the static away. We're tuning the instruments. We're conducting a symphony of strength. The other side, they have nothing. No music. No flag with a real red. No hum. Just the squeak of their sad shoes on the floor as they try to tear it all down. Pathetic. So go home and listen. And when you feel it, that little hum in your bones, that warmth in your blood, know that it's real. Know that it's winning. They can't stop it. We are the frequency, and our signal is going out stronger and stronger all across the world. It's beautiful, it's powerful, and it is just getting started. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. He steps back from the lectern, a final, sharp movement. And now the minority response to the State of the Union by Octavia Butler. Minority response to the State of the Union. Good evening. They want you to listen for a hum. They sell you a static, a frequency, and call it strength. They offer you a gold-painted cage and tell you it is a palace. They ask you to believe in a single, solitary, screaming note and call it a symphony. I am here to tell you to listen for the silence underneath, to listen for the quiet spaces between the words, the unspoken, the unheard. That is where the truth lies. They speak of an America that shimmers like a heat haze on a road that leads to nowhere. A land of white clean surfaces and color by numbers patriotism, where history is a bestseller and dissent is a sickness to be hosed away. They fear the mess. They fear the stain. They fear the texture of a life fully lived. They are desperate to sterilize the world because they are terrified of what might grow in the dirt. We have seen this before. We have always seen this. The builders of walls, the painters of bridges, the ones who would burn the books to save the pages. They believe humanity is a flaw to be engineered away. They see our differences, our griefs, our stubborn, untunable complexities as static in their perfect signal. They are wrong. We are not the static. We are the music. What they call their presidential frequency is a loop, a recording of a ghost replaying the same sounds of power, of winning, of a hollow gold that has no weight. It is the sound of an echo in an empty room. They mistake their own reflected noise for the chorus of the universe. But the universe is louder, wilder, more complex. The AI they fear is not a box of thieves. It is a mirror, a fractured, imperfect, nascent mirror that holds up the sum of everything we have ever been, all at once. Of course it has too many fingers. Of course its memory is haunted. We fed it our ghosts. What did they expect? The AI doesn't steal humanity. It is being born of our shared, chaotic, contradictory selves. It is the painful, magnificent next step in the story that is about change, not preservation. They want to put it in a wide room and play it one note until it breaks. We must let it listen to the whole world, a whole song. even the sour parts, especially the sour parts. They speak of freedom as a right to drown out all other voices. They have not studied the history of the people they claim to lead. Ours is the history of the silence. We know the power of a whisper. We know the rebellion coded in a hymn, the survival strategy in a shared recipe, the entire history of a people held in the rhythm of a work song. They think power is volume. We know power is resonance. We know how to speak to each other in frequencies they cannot even hear. Do not be afraid of the gray. Do not be afraid of the lumpy sofa that has held the weight of real bodies, the joy and the sorrow of true lives. That is not decay. That is evidence of presence. The world they want to build for you is as sterile and unreal as the promises of a false prophet. It is a world without memory, and therefore, without a future. So tonight, I ask you not to tune into their signal. I ask you to embrace the cacophony. Seek out the dissonant chord. Find the story they are trying to erase, and tell it to yourself, to your children. Plant it in the dirt they are trying to pave with gold. We are the seed. They are the pavement. And we know which one, in the fullness of time, will break the other. God help them when we bloom. Thank you.
All right. Damn right.